So what causes you back pain as you age? You see, understanding this alone can fix your back pain by up to 80%, or the natural wear and tear on the spine. That's why they end up relying way too much on medication and avoid doing exercise, or focus way too much on the spine and ignore all the other important muscles, especially the core. But in reality, this is honestly making their back pain worse. So what exactly causes back pain, and how do you fix it? And how can you finally relieve lower back pain as you age so you can move more freely, bend over and pick stuff up without having to worry about breaking your back, and lift or play with your kids or grandkids without any worry? That's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 reasons on why you experience back pain as you age and how you can fix it. So let's get into it. Number 1 would be over the years of sitting. If you've been working at a desk or really any kind of job over the last decade that requires you to sit for a very long time, this could be one of the pivotal reasons why you're experiencing back pain. You see, when you sit for more than 4 or 5 hours a day without getting any proper movement or exercise, it just puts a lot of adverse pressure on your spine, and it overall weakens your backature muscles and your postural muscles. In fact, there was a study conducted where 64 people that work at a call center who sit regularly for about 400 hours. And over 75% of them had chronic or acute lower back pain. You see how it's kind of related? And since you can't go all the way in the past to undo the damage that you can do to relieve yourself of lower back pain from prolonged periods of sitting. So start moving your body regularly. Start going for a walk and perform exercises that will strengthen both your lower back muscles as well as the muscles supporting it, like your hips, like your legs, and especially your core/TVA. So number 2 would be not moving or exercise. If you haven't done any exercise or movement over the years, then your muscles will become much more weak and much more stiff and much more rigid. So this could be another big reason for your lower back pain. I see this very commonly for people over the age of 40 or 50, or sometimes even in their 60s. They go decade after decade of really not a lot of movement, and obviously that hurts their lower back, but it also doesn't help with their weight loss. So they have very stiff muscles that makes it hard for them to do day-to-day activities, like literally getting out of the car, bending over and picking up something off the floor. I had a client whose back pain was so severe he couldn't lift up his kid. He wanted to start exercising but thought it was too late for him. But obviously that's completely not true. Age is just a number. You can still be exercising even if you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, or 80. I like this quote I heard once. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. Shameless plug. That's also why I call my podcast the Start Yesterday podcast. But this philosophy applies to every aspect of life. And when my client started exercising, within just 2 months, he saw a massive difference and was able to play with his kids and throw them up in the air without any back pain. So if you think it's too late, you're wrong. Start now. Start today. So number 3 would be bad posture over the years. Some people maintain a bad posture over the course of their life, and without them even realizing, whether it's sitting, whether it's standing, whether it's walking, or even when sleeping. This is a huge one. So this is obviously going to put massive strain on your lower back and will cause a lot of misalignment in your spine. Over time, this is going to cause wear and tear to your discs and your joints and your ligaments, resulting in unwanted discomfort and a much higher chance of injury. I have dealt with this issue personally. I maintained bad posture for 9 years of my life. And obviously, when I had the additional weight gain, it made the back pain almost insufferable. At a certain point, I could not cross my legs. It was that bad with how tight my hips were. And I literally couldn't bend over to touch my toes. It was terrible. So that all changed and got better and once I started doing stretches. Now, if you're a beginner or you've never exercised or you've never done any stretches, you're probably thinking, oh, I probably can't do that, right? Well, I was once in your shoes at 1.2, right? So how do you expect someone who was 370 pounds to perform the splits or a pigeon pose or the tree? Like, I had to start somewhere, right? Because doing all that stuff was impossible. I literally couldn't cross my legs. But back then, I had a coach who I'm grateful to call one of my best friends, who started helping me and assisting me with stretching, which obviously over time drastically improved my posture and made me somewhat decently flexible to the point, like I demonstrated earlier, where I could now touch my toes. And this was like no warm. Now, if you want to know the stretches that I would recommend and help me make my body much more flexible and mitigate my lower back pain, then I made a whole video on this, so go check that out. I actually am turning this whole series into a playlist, so that would be linked probably either in the description or at the end of this video, or if you go to my channel, you check out the playlist, it's going to say something about like lower back pain series. Okay, I would definitely encourage you to check that out. Number 4 would be weight gain. Now, this is one of the biggest reasons and causes that creates such drastic, hard lower back pain, and I'm guilty of this myself. I had so much weight extended in front of me. Your gravity doesn't like that, right? It adds so much extra stress on your spine and supporting muscles. It's also going to shift the center of gravity on your body, which will then lead to more poor posture and weaker muscles and put a lot of stress on your spine and your lower back. This is what I personally struggled with for like about 15 years. When I was at my peak weight, I sometimes needed a cane to get out of bed because of how bad my back pain was when I slept. And then, I mean, obviously, I didn't really make the situation better. I'd play video games like 12 or 14 hours a day, hunched over on a chair, and then that's why I couldn't like cross my legs. But this excessive weight gain and this chronic back pain honestly want to make me give up on life. But after I lost the weight, I became clearly, obviously, like a completely different person. Every aspect of my life changed. No back pain, no more flexibility issues, and I mean, I was able to do so much more stuff. Now, for whatever reason, I hear a lot of misconceptions from people that they seem to think if they lose weight, they're gonna have lower back pain. I can't emphasize this enough that it's completely not true. Normally, when my clients lose 20, 30, 40 pounds, most of, if not all of their lower back pain goes away because we're also gonna incorporate like strength training exercises and mobility and stretches, right? But it also helps because, again, gravitational force, it's mitigated. And here's exactly what they did to lose weight. They stayed in a caloric deficit, which means they ate less than like the energy input and output, right? And they started exercising to burn more extra calories, AKA energy. It really is that simple when we boil everything down, but there are obviously a bunch of nuances, including like a personalized plan like nutrition and exercise, right? Now, if you've tried dieting and you've tried taking fat burners or anything, but you haven't really been successful, then you probably haven't stuck to a plan that's personalized to you. Now, if you want or would like a personalized meal plan or workout plan without having to spend thousands of dollars on a nutritionist, on a chiropractor, on a personal trainer, then what I would recommend is you go to the first link in the description below, and I call it a game plan chat. We'll book a game plan chat. We'll break down if and how I could help you, and we basically create you your own personalized plan. Now, I've helped over 110. On that note, as of recording today, I've helped over 130 people lose 50 pounds and keep it off the rest of their life. Now, point number 5 would be the degeneration of disc. And no, I'm not talking about DX, although that's one of my favorite wrestling tag teams. As you age, the discs that support your spine kind of start to deteriorate and mitigate. It's just natural part of aging, obviously, but there are a few outliers. As they age, they don't get really bad back pain. So what the hell is the secret that they do that we don't know about, right? They have really strong back muscles, and not just the back muscles like your lats and your rhomboids, but also everything that makes up of it, including the spine itself. So people that have a history of going to the gym and exercising regularly and training their lower back and strengthening and increasing their range of motion and lubricating their joints, as they age, they have stronger back muscles, and that mitigates the chances of the degenerations of discs. Now, a lot of people sometimes solely just focus on improving the lower back, and that is somewhat of a mistake. You see, if you just solely focus on just improving your lower back muscles and improving your lower back pain, then honestly sometimes you can add too much strain to it and too little to recover from it, which could then mitigate or increase the pain. So you want to incorporate and focus on other factors like your core, specifically your TVA, like your hip flexors, like your legs, like your glutes, like your hamstrings, your whole really bottom of your body, as well as some of the top. But like from just a functional standpoint, you don't really need to train your chest, but it just aesthetically looks pleasing. So when you strengthen all of these muscles, you will then have a more stable and stronger lower back 100%. Now, here's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video. If you weigh less and have stronger back muscles, it is going to be super easy for you to experience almost no lower back pain as you age, as life goes on. If you want to learn how you can do that or a more personalized approach and game plan for you, then click the first link in the description below. And if you found any value out of this video, then please subscribe for more just like this, and check out the rest of the playlist because I think you'd get more value out of that as well. Thank you for watching, and drop a like. I will see you in the next video.